It's 4:30 and this is WKYT This Morning. A boy in Lexington got to meet the heroic commander of the Apollo 13 space mission. Hear from that boy ahead on WKYT.
A warning for parents out there. Someone has been sending Lexington Elementary School students inappropriate messages using a social media app.
And an arrest has been made in the threat case involving Lexington Catholic High School students. More details on the arrest coming up on WKYT This Morning.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Good morning. It's Friday. We finally made it. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Michelle Chamberlain, and it's the opening day of Keeneland. I love this time of year.
Exciting time. It
yes.
certainly is. And it is a school day today for Fayette County.
Yes.
It had been planned to be off, but of course they're making up a snow day. So we had a few of those. And maybe a snowflake or two.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Keeneland and snow just shouldn't go together, Micah.
No, absolutely not. We may get that overnight and into tomorrow morning. Today, we're setting the stage for a very chilly rain to slide on in here. You can see that back toward southern Indiana and also coming out of Illinois. Now, that batch right there is not the batch we're really watching closely. I believe that most of that will fall apart. Can't rule out a couple of showers before noontime. Temperatures right now are well above freezing in many locations southbound. You go northbound and we're right on that verge of being around the freezing mark in most locations, if not already there. 47 by the afternoon, the chilly showers. We're going to talk about that. I'm going to show you your Keeneland forecast later on this afternoon when the rain actually moves on in, coming up.
All right, lots to look forward to. We'll see you in a bit.
Lexington police and Fayette County school leaders have a warning about a social media app. They say someone has been using the app to make inappropriate comments to Lansdowne Elementary School students.
They say the person even asked the children for pictures and videos through this app that is called Uvu, and investigators fear the person could be an online predator. WKYT's Garrett Weimer tells us more about the reaction to the news.
Off camera and on, reaction to the news was the same.
The world is not safe anymore. You know, it's really scary now.
Investigators say someone using the Uvu messaging and video chat app made inappropriate comments to and asked for pictures or videos of several kids from Lansdowne Elementary School. Parents and grandparents of students there say it's sickening to them.
I'm kind of just like wigging out like, oh Lord, you know, you hear it all the time at other places, but you never expect it to be at your own back door, you know.
Police are investigating. They say they believe whoever sent those messages lives out of state, but it's a reminder about the importance of internet safety. Parents I talked to say that's always a concern. They say they talk to their kids about it and check their kids' phones to make sure nothing inappropriate is going on. Many said they're glad the school and police brought this to their attention so they can keep their eyes open even more.
You just never know who's who, you know. You know, people sit there and, you know, they lower little kids to, you know, to try to hurt them and stuff, and you just really have to talk to them, and you can't really sugarcoat nothing. You got to be straightforward with them, you know, to make sure they understand.
In Lexington, Garrett Weimer, WKYT.
And in a letter to parents, the school's principal asked parents to check their children's phones for this Uvu app. The principal is asking them to report to police if they find anything suspicious on it.
Lexington police have charged a teenager for a threat case involving a student at Lexington Catholic High School. Police say the 17-year-old male has been charged with harassing communications and terroristic threatening. The case has also been referred to the county attorney's office. Denisha Vinegar says her son received race-related threatening messages from a teammate on Lexington Catholic's football team. She says he was threatened with lynching and told to pick cotton to raise money for a school fundraiser. Vinegar says her son has since transferred to another school. Now, another mother also told us her child received similar threatening messages from other students. She says she's talked to the school about taking steps to help all students.
Not just the children that's being impacted from the racial perspective and harassment, but the children who's doing this racial harassment, because they need to understand that's not the best practice, and it could very quickly end up in litigation in the real world.
Now, in a statement, Lexington Catholic High School leaders say the threats do not reflect the culture or environment which the school promotes. They also say they met with all students today to discuss to discuss the dangers of offensive language and social media. In a statement through an attorney last night, Vinegar claimed the school withheld a transcript and demanded more money in retaliation for reporting that incident. She says the family has retained a federal civil rights attorney based in D.C. Her full statement is up on our website, WKYT.com.
Now 4:35 on WKYT this morning, and a 4-month-old Central Kentucky baby is recovering from serious injuries that police say were caused by her babysitter. Nicholasville police charged 34-year-old Erin Thompson with criminal abuse. They say she was also caring for several other children at the time. The baby girl is being treated at Kentucky Children's Hospital.
And we do.
Almost every day, David Ramiro is working at his restaurant, the SEC Sports Pub.
I'm a musician.
But today, right before work, he got some troubling news.
When my nanny came to work today, she brought to my attention that this infant baby was injured, and told me some of the circumstances surrounding it. And as a father, I have a 4-year-old and a 3-year-old, and it was just heartbreaking.
Ramiro says his nanny knows the family of the injured baby, and after she told him what happened, he knew he had to do something. So this weekend, he is raising money at his restaurant for the family.
If this just leads down a path of other people finding a way to contribute and help in any way, then that just makes it all the better for the child.
This weekend, 10% of what's sold off of this menu will go towards helping the injured baby. And Ramiro says he will also match whatever is raised.
It's probably relative, especially the expenses of health care, and I'm sure it may be negligible, but if there's just in a small way that we can help and use the tools that I've been fortunate enough to have to be able to help the child, I'd be excited to do it.
Ramiro is not alone in his willingness to help.
We'll be here. We'll definitely be here.
Some of his regular customers have already pledged to come back and help this weekend.
When you see somebody else doing something, it fires you to want to do something too.
And that is exactly Ramiro's goal. In Lexington, Sabir Rayford, WKYT.
Next week marks the 46th anniversary of America's most daring mission in space, one that went from near tragedy to life-saving. The commander of Apollo 13 was in Lexington yesterday.
Captain Jim Lovell spoke at an annual dinner held at UK, and one young boy got to personally meet the heroic astronaut.
In the movie Apollo 13, Tom Hanks plays the role of Captain Jim Lovell, commander of a mission to the moon.
Our next broadcast will be from the surface of the moon.
But 2 days into the mission, catastrophe.
Houston, we have a problem.
200,000 miles from Earth, Captain Lovell and his crew lost almost all power. Onboard computers all but died. The temperatures inside freezing, and their air supply going quickly. The odds of them making it back to Earth alive, not good. 46 years later, Captain Lovell remembers.
I discovered the oxygen leaking out, which was where the low point was, because that meant that we'd lose all of our oxygen, and when that happened, we'd lose all of our electrical power, and when that happened, we wouldn't have a propulsion system.
He's still alive, that's good. He's a living legend.
11-year-old Michael Rushing lives on his family's Fayette County farm. He was born long after Apollo 13 grabbed the nation's heart, but he knows a hero when he sees one.
He's just awesome. He's just pretty cool.
Michael and his sister Annabelle run a business selling eggs and chicks.
Each year we make more money than the last with chickens. You'd be surprised.
He and his dad recently saw the movie Apollo 13, and when Michael heard the real Jim Lovell was coming to Lexington to speak, he wanted to meet him. But tickets to the dinner were $175.
I said, that's awfully expensive. So he came back and with the money from his little business said, you know, Daddy, I'll buy my own ticket.
We have a young man that's all dressed up here, huh? Big night.
Turns out a board member at Sanders Brown Center on Aging found out about Michael's wish of meeting Captain Lovell. They made Michael and his dad special guests for a meet and greet.
There you go.
Dressed in a new suit, Michael brings with him a book on Apollo 13 for Captain Lovell to sign.
There's not many kids out there that are ever gonna see an astronaut, much less talk.
And we're looking forward to your talk tonight.
Take care.
What a great story. All right, Sam Dick, obviously, with that. And Captain Lovell signed in Michael's book, Shoot for the Moon. We'll have more from Captain Lovell later today on WKYT.
Today, a Lexington native and her husband who were killed in the Brussels terror attacks will be laid to rest. Funeral services will be held today for Stephanie and Justin Schultz at Southland Christian Church in Jessamine County. Now, they were at the Brussels airport on March 22nd when bombs exploded. And I know a lot of people are thinking about them today.
Absolutely. Yeah, what a sad occurrence and a sad day, certainly. Our time this morning is 4:40. It's 20 before 5, and WKYT this morning is just getting started. We have a lot more news in just a moment.
The HPV decline rates are down among teens, but vaccine rates aren't as high as the CDC would like. More in Moms Every Day coming up.
We have the 30s outside again this morning. We're going to do it again tomorrow and again the next day. Cold air settles on in, maybe even a few snowflakes along the way. I'll have that coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
Pretty calm and quiet at this moment. We do have some showers to the north of us, but as you're walking out the door here in the next couple of hours, there's nothing going on. But it is quite chilly, I will tell you that, especially if you were to the north. I want to show you this. If you look back towards south of Indianapolis in Indiana, go back toward Illinois, work your way back towards, say, Wisconsin, right behind our banner, our WKYT Defender Radar Network banner, you can see the rain and even a little snow mixed in heading our direction. Now, the coldest air is located north of us, right around Wisconsin. Make your way off into the Great Lakes and into Michigan. And that's why you're seeing the white everywhere. But then you go a little bit further south of that, farther south, just south of Chicago. That's kind of where that 32-degree line is for this system, and that's where you see the green showing up, indicating some rain. So that rain's heading our direction. We're kind of in the warm sector, if you will, of the system, and the coldest air is still well to the north of us. Coldest, not cold because we're still cold this morning, is we do have a freeze warning in effect through 9 a.m., and I'll step out of the way. It's for everybody. So if you're watching this morning, yeah, you got some freezing temperatures, possible freezing temperatures this morning. But I will tell you this, some of us won't reach that. Some of us actually are not under a freeze warning this morning. All that was not only for this morning, but also through the next couple of days. I mean, we had some really cold air sliding on in here. 32 degrees in Mount Sterling, 34 in Lexington. I don't see that changing. The numbers that you see right now, I don't see it changing that much. Maybe 2 more degrees, and that's about it. You work your way southbound, and we're in the 40s. There's no way we actually hit 32 degrees down south. But you go off into some of the valley regions in east and southeastern Kentucky. There's a possibility of that. Mount Sterling, and then make your way into Frenchburg in Menifee County, coming along right around that 32-degree reading. We go through the day, and it's going to be pretty chilly. You got to remember, yesterday we were in the upper 40s, lower 50s. For most down south, we're actually in the mid to upper 50s. Kind of depended on where you were. Those gusty winds made it feel much colder. And today, throw the gusty winds back in there and drop our temperatures 2 to 5 degrees. And there you have it, 47 by the afternoon. Not only 47 by the afternoon, now we're talking about some showers sliding on in here. And it'll be pretty widespread. I would say anywhere from 2 p.m. to 7 p.m. it's pretty widespread, meaning heading out to Keeneland, yeah, opening day, it's going to be pretty cold, pretty gusty with those winds, and also some showers out and about. And that'll take you into tomorrow, too, with a few flakes down in the morning hours, and then afternoon. It's just really cold sitting there in the lower 40s. But Sunday, it rebounds nicely, guys. Be right around 60 to 65 degrees.
Well, people get to take coats. The horses don't.
Exactly.
You know?
Horses will just keep running, man, just to stay warm.
All right. It's going to be an interesting, memorable day out at Keeneland for opening day, certainly. 4:46 the time. HPV is the most common sexually transmitted infection in the country, and rates for the infection have dropped since a vaccine was introduced about a decade ago.
However, the number of young people receiving the vaccine has grown more slowly than was hoped. Moms Every Day has more.
Infection rates of human papillomavirus, or HPV, are down 64% in U.S. teens. That's since a vaccination was introduced a decade ago.
According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, government researchers found that among females between age 14 and 19, prevalence of the cancer-causing virus targeted by the vaccine dropped from 11.5% in 2003 through 2006 to 4.3% in 2009 through 2012.
HPV prevalence also dropped among women aged 20 to 24 from 18.5% to 12.1%. While the numbers are encouraging, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention says the number of young people receiving the vaccine has increased more slowly than expected. 42% of girls and 22% of boys between the ages of 13 and 17 have received the recommended 3-dose vaccine series. HPV is the most common sexually transmitted infection in the country. It is so common that nearly all sexually active men and women get it at some point in their lives.
For more health information, visit momseveryday.com.
For these tips and more, just go to WKYT.com and click on Moms Every Day.
And right there, you'll find all the latest news and your weather, of course, throughout your weekend. Good to have you on WKYT This Morning on your Friday.
There's still more news ahead on WKYT This Morning. Welcome back to WKYT This Morning. Your time is 4:51. A federal judge has not decided whether to release attorney Eric C. Kahn from custody before his trial in a fraud case.
Investigators say Kahn, psychologist Alfred Adkins, and Social Security Judge David Daughtry worked together to get more than $600 million in federal disability payments for clients. During a hearing yesterday, prosecutors said they fear Kahn could be a flight risk. They claim former Kahn employees had indicated he would leave the country to avoid being prosecuted. The judge says he will make a ruling at some point today, likely. Court documents say Daughtry was arrested earlier this week and has been ordered to undergo a mental evaluation. Investigators have identified the victims of a double murder in northern Kentucky. They are 28-year-old Carolyn Tomlinson and 32-year-old Charles Ekman. Neighbors say they were a couple. They were found dead Wednesday morning at a home in Kenton County. Police have not made an arrest in the case. They are asking for surveillance video from a neighbor's security camera, hoping that will provide more information.
Lexington-based Lexmark is reportedly in talks to be bought by a Chinese company. Now, according to our news partner at the Herald Leader, Lexmark has been talking to Apex Technology, but Lexmark officials couldn't comment on the report. Lexmark said last fall it was exploring a possible sale. Now, the company announced last month in its plans to lay off more than 140 people in Lexington.
A Johnson County woman says she is grateful for the sheriff's deputy who saved her life. In February, Barbara Daniel says a stove in her home started pouring smoke and she quickly passed out. Neighbors became concerned after they didn't hear from her, so they called police. Johnson County Deputy Terry Tussey showed up, went inside, and found Daniel on the floor. He carried her outside to safety. Daniel spent 9 days in the hospital but has recovered now. She says she wouldn't be alive without the deputy.
He's just a #1 great person to me, and I thank God for him.
Daniel says she now shares a very special friendship with the deputy. Good story there. And it's good to have you with us here at 4:53 on WKYT. In just a moment, some of the news stories that our team is working on for you this morning.
We'll also have another look at your morning forecast coming up.
Hey, good morning. Welcome back into WKYT This Morning on your Friday. The weekend is almost here, and it's coming up on 4:57 right now.
It's time to take a look at some of the stories we are working on this morning.
The past weeks have been an emotional roller coaster for family members of Lexington native Stephanie Schultz and her husband Justin, and today the couple will be laid to rest. We'll have more on their funeral that will be held in the Lexington area coming up on WKYT This Morning.
And it's opening day at Keeneland. We'll have more from the racetrack coming up in our next hour of WKYT This Morning.
Always an exciting day,
yes,
regardless of the weather, but it is certainly going to be chilly out there. Let's check in with Micah.
Yeah, I wish I could say it was just going to be a nice day, but that's just not the fact. The fact is it's an ugly day. We have the clouds overhead. We have temperatures there in the 30s this morning and some rain on the way later on this afternoon and off into the evening hours. Gusty winds. Yeah, 15, 25 miles per hour and 47 degrees. Just doesn't look great. I'll talk about this forecast when we can see these temperatures get better. Coming up with another 2 hours of WKYT News.